we're going to teach you how to set up a fountain today. We have our tools ready down below. The first piece we need to work on is the pedestal. If you look at the bottom here of every pedestal, there's always going to be a notch. That's where the cord comes through. So if it's sitting on concrete, the cord goes out there and it sits flush. Now we just gotta get this level. Because these are a concrete mold, they're never gonna be perfect. The mold could be a little higher in one spot, so as long as you're close and level with the pedestal, you're good. What we're gonna do is a little trick. If we lift this piece on and put it on right now and try to pull the cord through, we're gonna mess with the level of the ground again. It's gonna shift again. So we're gonna do a little trick. We're actually gonna put the pump in the bowl first. So now that we got the cord through, we're going to put it through the pedestal, keeping the level of the pedestal and not shifting it. Now I'm grabbing the cord and going through that notch. Now see that the cord will pull through without moving the pedestal because it's in the notch. So the next step is now we're going to get the bowl and put it on the pedestal. Now in doing this, we're going to pinch the cord, but we're going to show you a little trick that we do once we get it on there, how to pull the cord out. You'll see all the cord just sticking out. That's it. And that's it. You're always going to want to leave a little bit of slack because when we put the fountain together, you want to be able to access the pump in and out so you can actually clean the filter and also service the motor. So this is a rubber grommet that will seal the fountain so it holds water. And what we do with this grommet, we basically double seal it to make sure it never leaks. We're going to stretch the permagum around the grommet to seal it. And now we're going to wrap it around the cord, open it up, finish sealing it off, and you can see the cord fits in there just perfect. You're not going to be able to push it with your hand. That's where you need to get a flathead screwdriver and push it down, and you want it to be flush. I like to double seal all the seals just to make sure if somebody pulls on the pump or anything happens underneath there, or let's just say the grommet for some reason failed. So what I'll do here is I'll take this permagum and I'll push it all around the grommet to lock it in there, get it real flat. The silicone that I use is the Dab Ultra Clear, and the reason why is it doesn't dissolve in water and you could form it with water without sticking to your hands. Now I'm just going to form it, and you can see it doesn't stick to my hand, it doesn't dissolve, and it actually dries clear. Now it's double sealed and it's never going to leak at this point. All fountains will have an access door, so that way you don't have to break down the fountain when you want to service it. So you got to determine what side do you want this door on. So I'm going to face it towards the back. You'll see a little square here. Most fountains have a line to follow, so it makes it a little easier. If you don't have the line to follow, you have to measure it out to make sure you're perfect. Make sure it's equal on all sides. So the next step is the tubing. So we're going to take the tubing, put it in this hole here. I just pull the tubing out from the bottom here, and I'm going to connect the pump. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the tubing with the pump. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take the tubing, just fold it back like that, take some of the permagum, kind of just fold it, and I'm going to put it around the tubing. The reason why we seal it is because you don't want the water just to drain out of the bowl. You want to hold water, and then that way the water flows over and it's even. Otherwise you'll see the water bubbling up, but then nothing's coming out on the bowl. That's one sign of it not being sealed right on the middle tier. I'm going to get my screwdriver and I'm going to push it down all around the tubing. So get my hands around the fountain, get some silicone, and just seal it again. To figure out how high the tubing should go, it should basically be somewhere in here. If you put the tubing all the way to the top, it's just going to shoot out. You want the tubing to be in here so it hits the sidewalls and it gives you a nice bubble on top. I'm going to approximate it right to about right here.
Going to have to redo that one again.
So this is a little bit more unique. There's actually a pipe, a copper pipe inside there. Most finials do not have that. It's actually just concrete, and you just stick the tubing in there and you're done. So this one's a little trickier. I can't run tubing all the way up to where I originally said right here. I have to cut the tubing shorter, and it just is going to barely go in there. Actually, I'll grab the hose if you could turn it on. Let's fill it up. Water will actually tell me exactly if it's level or if it's not. As I mentioned earlier, because it's a cement mold, if you see here, you're probably about an inch here and you're all the way there. We have to raise this side up to balance it out. I'm gonna take these two shims, so whenever you shim, you have to put two in close to each other, but at the side that you want. So now I want the water to calm down and basically grab the flathead screwdriver and look across the fountain and see where I'm still heavy. And by myself, easily lift this fountain. Once you get this level, then you work your way up. But since we're done down here, these shims that I use, I can just snap them off. All right, so now we're gonna plug in the fountain. One thing that you always want to do and just double check. Now you see I have a little bit of a wobble on the fountain. I'm going to take the shim, I'm going to put it in, and you can see it just easily slides in. Hold the fountain and tap it off, and the fountain's completely secure. You'll see here on the fountain there's an opening. The door just goes, sits inside, makes it look finished off, so you can't even tell it's there. Now that you've seen us set this fountain up step by step, you can do this in your own backyard. If you have any questions, give us a call at Outdoor Elegance.